I'm listening to you. I Before I started Hollywood Unlocked, I heard you were one of the first people talking about tech and media, and because we only had the world stars and this and that. But I remember you were starting a platform. But when I hear
Yeah,
you talk, I pay attention to you. I saw you at the Revolt Summit. And you were on stage talking about business, talking
yeah.
about ownership, talking about entrepreneurship. Why is it that you think the noise of all the drama online drowns out the game that you literally have been giving people of our community for years?
Yeah, well, people don't want to hear the truth, and people don't want to hear positive messages and words, and it's reality. We're about saving our culture. It's gonna have to start with being truthful, giving them game, giving them education, giving them not the ones that want to listen, because a lot of people have been listening. I mean, you started your business. I know a lot of other great people that are successful that said, "Pete, man, thank you." Even though a lot of people don't get it, but I got it. Look at the business, look at the wealth, look at the empires I was able to create. My whole thing is getting us out of the poverty stage into creating empires and also building economic empowerment. And that's the only way we're going to be able to get through. Just like you said, during COVID-19 and the pandemic, I mean, a lot of people has fell off because they're in a panic mode. They're in a desperate stage. We can go out of this with education. Everybody want to get into it for the money. Everybody said they want to be successful. They want to make some money. No, you have to educate yourself. It's a lack of knowledge, and it's also a lack of ideas. And so I want to push our culture now. People saying, let's go after these ideas. Let's create wealth. Let's create these opportunities that Hollywood are not giving us. So even when you look at Black Panther, a movie like Black Panther, for us to get to that level, we're gonna have to start making these small movies like we're doing now. Where I got to hook up with also with Unknown, the movie that we just finished up that'll be coming out October 1st everywhere. But we got to start, and we have to start trusting the process and buying into what we are producing and making until we grow to that level. That's what I mean by trust the process. That we got to grow to one of those big type of movies, but we have to control it and own it so we can put money back into the community and the culture. And my thing is, I've been giving our culture the blueprint for a while, and the ones that are listening, they're successful. I tell people all the time, if you follow me in my music career, right? Why not follow me? I'm on a path to building a generational wealth. We're creating products. We are creating other opportunities for our people and our culture. And all our brands are the more we make, the more we give. We want to give back to help educate the next generation and help feed the elderly. I think that's those things are important to me. I'm passionate about giving our people the game. And maybe I just got to start charging our people. That's what it is. So they charge me when somebody charge you for something, you hold on to. Michael Jackson attorney charged me $25,000 in the '90s. That's how I started No Limit Records. And what I did was I was looking for a deal to say, what's the biggest deal like Michael Jackson got or better? And the attorney said it's gonna cost you $25,000 to come sit down with me and get this type of information. I went, I gave him my 25,000. He told me a distribution deal, you'll make more money than any artist in the world. And I ended up sitting down with him. I didn't get it at first. He said, but you're gonna have to have $200,000 in marketing money. And I didn't understand. I'm like, man, I just gave this man $25,000, and that was in the '90s. And now I'm gonna need 200,000 more to go get this deal. And I started selling the CDs and cassettes out of the trunk of my car, raised the money, and the rest was history. That was the
Listen,
best.
listen. I remember when you came to
Yeah,
Stockton. I had the
yeah,
Percy Miller tapes. I'm telling you, this is why when I've been watching you, because I've been a fan. I've been a fan. I'm not the biggest fan of hip hop. I don't know everything. I know Mia X. I know the music, but
yeah,
I've been a fan of watching you in that hustle and the fact that although your clothes have changed, you got the
yeah,
gold sinks and you got the
yeah,
hundreds of millions of dollars. Your hustle has never stopped and your diversification on your business hasn't changed.
yeah,
And so when I look at you, I'm like, man, you're literally the example to everybody who wanted the hookup that you can literally do it if you do the hard work, but also the investment in learning the game because
yeah,
there are people out there that got it for sale, but sometimes we just want it the fast where we want to make it
yeah.
look like we got it when we really don't want to put in the work or invest in ourselves.
Yeah, nah, man, I put my trust and faith in God, and I constantly grow. Like I tell people all the time, if people around you are not helping you grow for the better, get rid of them. I had to cut people off. I had to evolve into the man I am today, and I'm thankful. I look at my past and say this was a part of building my character, and I don't mind growing, bettering myself, uh, doing the right thing. It's so easy to do the wrong thing, but when you get caught up, I mean, trouble is easy to get into, but hard to get out of. And I realized, what about just doing it the right way, doing it the legit way? You don't have to look over your shoulder. All these brands and products that I have, I don't have to deal with the negativity. Even like I said, product don't talk back, man. I don't have to worry about, product getting mad at me or what I didn't do for them. And I just think that we have to get into that personal space in our life and say, when you look in the Bible, say nobody owe you nothing but love. And if somebody love you, then that's enough. Also, Matthew 7 says, judge no man, or you be judged. And that's what gets me through. I don't judge nobody. I just try to do the best that I can. I'm not a perfect person. I don't live a perfect life, and I constantly keep educating myself and learning. And I want to help my culture. I want to help the next generation. And so my thing is about leaving an imprint on this world, not just being somebody that was here, but somebody that grew and made a difference. So I mean, that's what my life is about. Just keep getting better and keep trying to figure it out. How can we help our people? And how can we feed our families? How can we build generational wealth where we don't have to ask them for nothing?
Recently I heard Diddy come forward and talked about white corporations and white America not really supporting and funding or fueling, black media companies or black companies. And so I've been trying to get in touch with him to talk to him, and finally I just went and got his phone number and started messaging him directly. Haven't really heard back from him.
Yeah.
Why do you think so many people are popularizing this whole invest in black movement for social media, but then when it comes time to get to the table, you can't find them?
Yeah, well, I think that we gotta start looking for action, and we did that. We marched in the streets, and even with the George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, but we didn't realize the most important thing is economic empowerment. That's what we need to be asking for. We should be holding these companies accountable for saying, okay, not only say what you're going to do, but help us actually put African American product on these shelves. When you look at Aunt Mom and Uncle Ben, those products was mockery of us, and we thinking that we buying into this stuff, but we spend a lot of money with these companies, and we don't realize that African Americans spend trillions of dollars a year, but all we are is consumers. We have to change that narrative, and we have to hold these other big companies accountable because we are empowering them because we're investing our money into their companies. And I think that we are we're kind of like cracking these walls down now. What we was able to do with the rap snacks with me and James Lindsay. I mean, this is a guy that thinks outside the box and see the bigger picture. But I just think that we got to go in there asking for the right thing and making sure that we hold these companies accountable because we're going into these stores, we are keeping these companies in business, but we are not demanding that the real diversity. Every time something happens, they say, "Oh, this is what they're gonna do for us." Then they go back to the same thing, and it's not all the companies because they do have some good ones that are saying, "You know what? Let's do the right thing," and those are the ones I'm looking for to deal with my business, saying the ones that are not talking it, that are actually doing the right thing. So we just got to keep knocking them walls down, but and I think it's going to be more than us just making noise about it. Having our business together, having business plans, showing these people how we can make money together, and I think that's the next step.
You talked about, whether it's a union or whatever. How do we build a coalition? Let's call it a coalition. How do we build a coalition of, people like me that has our fingers on the pulse of pop culture and social media and the people, and giants like you and Puffy and those who have been examples of black ownership are at the tables that have big voices. How do we all get together and figure out a solution where we all get a piece of the pie? Because the thing I just said earlier this week on the Breakfast Club was,
Yeah,
all the people that are dressing cool at Apple and Beats by Dre and all that, I call them house. Y'all don't own any equity over there, but you out running around bringing the culture back to the white man when we should be figuring out how to build it for ourselves. How do we get together and create a conversation that is just cannot be penetrated by the outside noise?
Well, we got to build relationships with the ones that want to make a difference, the ones that thinking like we thinking and saying, let's get together and do something about us helping us. And I'm open to that. I've been open to that for a long time, and I just want to be around good people, people that has integrity. I don't want to deal with no BS. So I keep my circle small. But when you look at what our people was able to do back in the days and see what we are getting at now, and the people that lost their lives so we can do this, that we could be here in the 21st century. I mean, I want to connect to with the right people, and it's going to take people like us and doing what we're doing now, talking about it, communicating about it, and then actually having a plan of action. So I'm in, man. I mean, you watch all these companies making all this money off of us. When you look at the clubhouses and all these other companies, the money they was able to raise, those guys raised $12 million before their company even got started. We could never do that. Think about it,
Never.
because
Never.
we don't have the relationships and resources, and we don't stick together. I tell all the athletes and all the basketball and football players I know, I say, you know what? You guys relying on financial advisors. You got to start writing your own checks, because those guys are investing your money into what they want to invest into, penny stocks. Uh, and guess what? You're not building relationships with the bank. So credit is the most important thing that we could have, but it's all about understanding the banking system in a business and having people that can connect you to that. So I just think once we start showing these tips and getting together with each other, we don't really need no money. The money is out there. I mean, I was going to buy Reebok off of the debt, and to be able to show my people that that's what I want to teach, us. And I think, but we got to be willing to learn and listen and sit down, because, once we get a little money, we think we know everything.